This is a telephone exchange from a country region installed between around 1960s to about 1995 or thereabouts. So you actually need to dial the telephone number, not press buttons. Just finished dialing all the numbers and the telephone.
One sec, sorry, Henry. Hello, this is Tom. Who's this?
G'day, Tom. It's Henry. How are you?
Well, of course.
In simpler times, Australians stayed connected through a network of exchanges, like these on exhibit at the Queensland Communications Museum.
So telecommunications used to be about talking, and now it's about this.
Data, yeah, ones and zeros. 6,000 million bits per second.
So when something small goes wrong, it can be quite seismic.
Very much so.
And that's what we saw last week. Just after 3:30 Wednesday morning, Telstra's mobile network began failing across Australia on a system carrying nearly 25 million mobile services.
It did bring the country to its knees. We saw freight systems, public transport, payment systems, charging systems, all these sorts of really major systems that businesses and the community rely on go to ground during this outage.
And critically, hundreds of 000 calls didn't connect.
We have let our customers and Australians down. And for that, I am deeply sorry.
Unlike last year's Optus outage, no deaths have been linked to the failure, and it wasn't human error.
In this situation, it was old hardware as well as the software that was on that particular server.
This, now discontinued device, could be what took part of Telstra down, a precision timekeeping appliance called a sync server.
All sorts of equipment of all sorts of kinds and computer systems need to know what time it is. It is one of those things that is essential, and it's lying behind the scenes, and people don't tend to notice it until something goes wrong.
The failure revived memories of the Millennium Bug. But this defect apparently acted like a digital time machine,
at the third stroke,
sending some systems back 20 years. Convincing part of Telstra's network, it was 2006. Like an orchestra losing its conductor, parts of the network fell out of sync and services progressively failed.
Now imagine that it was a cyber attack. One cyber attack and the whole network goes down. Yeah, this was just a fault, but you see how vulnerable we are.
Paul Butter is one of Australia's leading telecoms consultants.
Of course, it's no longer a telecommunications network, it's a computer network. Yeah, so it's now all driven by software, it's all driven by routers and by servers, etc.
Data now dominates telecoms traffic, and most communication happens over internet-based apps.
But at the same time, we start now depending so much on the network. Healthcare, education, transport, the banks, all depend on it. So that's the problem. They are so interconnected that when something happens, it still cascades.
We've got these telecommunications companies whose only legal responsibilities actually are to their shareholders. They're for-profit companies. Meanwhile, they're offering a public service, and yet the public are not at the centre of any of this. So we do need an overhaul.
Greens Senator Sarah Hanson-Young is proposing new laws targeting reliability and compensation, while leading an ongoing inquiry into 000 failures. Several Telstra executives have been called to front the inquiry on Friday.
What I care about and what I want answers on and what I want action on is fixing this bloody service for everybody into the future, because this should not happen again.
When it comes to accountability, I'm the CEO, and so it absolutely starts with me, and that will be part of what will be considered once we get through and make sure we understand exactly what happened here and what changes might need to be made, and our board will oversee that process.
Consumer advocates are calling for quicker solutions like domestic roaming.
It enables people to, if their provider is experiencing an outage, to switch to another network and receive another provider's service.
But Mr. Buddha says we need to look abroad, to countries which have invested in building networks where failures can be isolated so they don't cascade nationally.
These things are inevitable and there will be more outages, I can guarantee that. All of these things are so critical to the security of the country, that you need to see it as a national problem and not just as a telecommunications problem.